All right, welcome into Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shelley, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for tuning us in on this day. It's a synthetic Friday, right? We've got tomorrow off, and tomorrow's a synthetic Sunday. Let's take a look and see what these markets have in store for us. But boy, oh boy, we had some fireworks, no pun intended, on Friday. Actually, pun intended. I'll use that. And then let's take a look and see what we've got after the overnight session this weekend and what we've had happening already earlier here today. Well, we kind of turned around a little bit. I mean, look, SEP's up 4.5 cents in the corn market, right? 4.93 is last there, 10 cents off the lows, 6 cents off the highs. We're up 3 3/4 cents in Dees, but folks, we're still below $5 in Dees corn. 4.98.5 is last there. And the range is about, what, 17 cents? So not even that big of a range, comparatively. So we're up 3 3/4 to 4 cents when it comes to the new crop corn. Well, going over to beans, that's a different story. And we've got an August price that's up 43.5 cents. 14.85.5 is last there. 63-cent range. There you go. That's August, right? How about Nove? That's the new crop. 25 3/4 cents higher. 13.69 even is last. And that's had almost a 50-cent range itself, about 48 cents. So that's a 26 cents better on the day. 13.69 1/4. That's Nove. It's got about a 50-cent-ish range. So that's pretty interesting there too. Wheat in Chicago, you ask, you get. And we've got a little bit of a look. This is trying to hang around unchanged. We've got a set market that's down 1/2 cent, 2 ticks to 650.5, 10 cents from the lows and about 5 cents from the highs. And then you've got a Dees board that's down a penny, 668 1/4. That's Chicago wheat. If we go from Chicago to Kansas City, this will be the hard red. That's up here today, 13 cents higher in SEP, 8.13 even as last. We got about a 37-cent range when we talk about SEP wheat in Kansas City. Let's go out to the Dees. That's 14 3/4 cents higher. 8.15 is last there. Let's move over from Kansas City to Minneapolis. Minneapolis has got a 6-cent rally in store for us. 8.23 is last there. A 28-cent range on the day in SEP spring wheat. Let's go to the Dees. That's 5 1/4 cents higher to 8.31 3/4. And then finally, let's take a quick peek at cotton. It was higher earlier. It still is 152 points higher. That's Dees. 81.89 is the price. That's last. We'll get to our next guest analyst. It's going to be Todd Bubba Horowitz. He's coming to us live. It sounds like Las Vegas, and it looks like Las Vegas. All right, Bubba Trading, Las Vegas. What do you got for us? What are your thoughts? I mean, boy, you saw the report. You saw the over the weekend weather and overnight trade. What does that package present to you?
Well, first of all, you and I together could be red, white, and blue with what we have on. But
exactly right.
At the end of the day, I'm kind of disappointed in the recovery rally today, just out of sheer the oversold conditions or the big beating they took on Friday. 15, 16 cents in both wheat and corn, and wheat's still pretty weak considering, it's flat. So, look, I'm not real thrilled with the action. I will give it an excuse because it's a very slow holiday trade coming into tomorrow. But I think we got a little bit of a problem here, Scott. I don't see the money flowing in, and you would certainly think there'd be some bargain hunters trying to come in today, trying to buy up these that were really dramatically sold on Friday.
You think, look, there's 3 things we could trade, right? Fixed income, which is interest rates, equities, and ags. Do you think interest rates and equities are pulling a little bit of the cash away? We've had such a great return in the NASDAQ, say 31% for the first 6 months. You've got the 16% higher in the S&Ps, and then you've had interest rates all over the place. Are we suffering a little bit from some of that attention being looking elsewhere?
I think 100%. There's no question that extra money that usually comes in to the grain markets is not coming because it continues to be. I call it the greed phase of the market right now. We continue to see money pour in the markets. They're not even buying much of CDs right now. When you would think at 5 1/4% 5 years ago they would have cried for that rate. Now they're ignoring it, and I think they're missing the boat on a lot of outside opportunities. And I think that's what sets his equity market up for a big meltdown at some point, which would then free up some capital to come into the grains. But right now it's not, and that's an unfortunate position.
Yeah, at 5% or whatever you said, 5 1/4, you'd probably be just about even with the first 6 months of the Dow. You're 11% behind the S&P, and you're 26% behind the NASDAQ. So, boy, oh boy. All right. That's a big price to pay for safety. That's one thing for sure. All right, stay right there. We need to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more with Todd Horowitz, Bubba Trading in Las Vegas after this. Hey, welcome back. Let's talk about, we can talk about live cattle. Let's talk about live cattle in Chicago. This is going to be one of our 4-legged friends we'll talk about and see what that market's doing. And the answer is not a lot. Steady, a little bit easier if you would have called me on the floor 30 years ago when I was there. We can talk about an August market that's off 90 cents to 176.27. That's 17 cents from the lows. That'll give you an idea about where we sit right now. Kind of heavy. Dace is down 37 cents to 183.15. Moving right along, he says, we go to the feeders. And feeders were up over $5 on Friday. They've been struggling to hang on to those gains, but still we're kind of around unchanged on the day. We've got an August board down 67 cents to 246.92. And let's go out to the Nove. The Nove's up 20 cents to 252.85. So that'll give you an idea about what feeder cattle have been up to here today as we kind of gyrate around that unchanged level. And then finally, lean hogs. We'll get back to our guest analyst has been so patiently waiting in the wings. Lean hogs. Let's go to August is up $2.12. This is good. 94.72 is last. And we've got a D-Sport up 60 cents on its own to 75.75. All right. Let's bring back in Todd Bubba Horowitz. He's with Bubba Trading in Las Vegas. Todd, okay. You know, it was kind of interesting to see, we've got such high prices already in feeders. But to find that much oxygen at the top of the mountain, we don't really usually see a market go by leaps and bounds when they're at all-time record highs, do you?
Not typically, but I think when we saw a little bit of selling early Friday, I think a lot of people are anxious to get short those markets right now just because of the sheer price point where they are. And of course, then they start to drift, and suddenly they turn around, and you're standing next to the guy next to you if you're on the floor, and you're going, wait a second, they're supposed to be going down, they're not, I better chase them up. And I think that's more the action you're going to see up here towards the top. And this is very much of topping type of action. Now, I don't expect the tops to come in real soon, but I do think that we're pretty close, and I don't think we're going down real fast yet. But I do think that certainly, I don't know how much more this economy can stand of much higher prices from here.
And just the consumer just seems so darn strong. I mean, it's like they're living on vapors. I know we don't have any more savings left. I'm going to do a piece on my show tonight about that. But at the same time, we've got credit card balances reaching an all-time record high of over $1 trillion. Where does this money keep coming from to support, say, even just these cattle prices at the beef counter?
Well, I mean, I think the beef's a little bit separate case, Scott, because I think the beef itself, with the shortage, the people that can't afford it are buying it. But I think the average guy in the street is not buying it, and they're buying more into the hogs or lesser proteins. But their credit card balances are at record highs, and it's even the amount of close to the top of their balances at records, which is even more of a concern for the overall economy.
Right. Well, that's how it breaks down. The Horowitz family, they buy the beef. The Shelley family, I had pork tenderloin yesterday, so that's how it goes. Appreciate you coming on, Todd. Always great. Todd Horowitz, Bubba Trading in Las Vegas. Bring it back home, and I'll hand it back over to you, Tammy.